What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to bring you a topic that people have been asking about, and that is how much did I pay for my 2020 Subaru STI. I've had 4 or 5 people ask me what I paid for it, the buying process, so I'll kind of go through that. It's going to be a little different than what it typically is that I bought this during COVID, and Subaru did stop producing their cars for, I think it was 3 to 6 weeks, depending on what models. So there was a supply shortage, and there's already, the STI is already a limited produced car. So it was a little bit different than what it was in the past. I probably could have got a tad bit better deal if I would have shopped around a little bit and kind of maybe waited till next year to do this, but it was good timing because they had 0.9% financing, so that is the reason why we did this. And I hated our Outback. That's a different story, different topic, different time. So I went with the best at STI because it already had everything I wanted. Didn't care about power seats, the Recaro seats. It already comes with the LED steering responsive headlights. It already has the auto start stop and the keyless entry, which is what I wanted. So the base model has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It has everything I wanted on it. And I still have the sticker here, so I will get you a closer point of the price. But the actual suggested retail price was $3,995. It did have some add-ons, so popular package number 1 was $797, and that added the center armrest, wheel locks, the mirrorless compass with HomeLink, which was my only option that I definitely wanted, was that. Cargo tray and bumper applied sedan. It's just a little strip that goes along the bumper that helps protect it from if you're taking things in and out of the trunk. And then it also comes with all-weather floor liners for $132. So the total suggested retail price is, you do have $900 for delivery. It does come from Japan, so I guess that's to be expected. It's $38,824. That was the actual price. If you want to look at all the features, I'll get you a better shot of that. But I actually purchased this at King Subaru in near Cincinnati, Ohio. I actually shopped around about 6 different dealerships between Wagner, Joseph, Beechmont, which is the same as King's. Beechmont and King's are the same dealership, and Subaru of Dayton. And actually, Wagner and Subaru of Dayton said they would not be getting any more base STIs, and then they weren't doing dealer trades at the time, so those 2 are already out. I did go to Wagner and got my appraisal for my trade-in, because they always give higher amounts of trade-in, and then I just take that to the other dealership. So I have my grand total here for what I paid for the car. Again, this was during COVID. They actually had to dealer trade for this car. They had 2 options to trade from: a base model World Rally Blue, which the other dealership would not trade to them, and then the white base that I actually purchased. I did have to wait about a week for them to go get the car, and it had about 140 miles on it, because again, they had to dealer trade for it, go get it, and bring the car back. So that was the suggested total MSRP is $38,824, and I paid, let's see if I can I'm going to try to mark our next stuff information off here, because I really don't want you guys to know my address. I don't really know why, but we paid $36,461, so about $2,500 off of the MSRP, which is what I got quoted just about everywhere. At Subaru of Dayton, Wagner, even if they were to order one straight from the factory, Subaru of Dayton and Joseph Subaru were about $1,000 higher, and the only other one I shopped was Byers, Byers, up in Columbus, and they basically quoted me sticker. They said they're selling these at sticker, they're not coming down on the price. So that is what I paid, which I will, hopefully that zooms in on that there. I'll get you another shot of this. Dock fees, $250. You're going to pay that no matter what. So my subtotal was $30. Sales tax, I did trade my Outback in. I owed about $31. It's on here, $31,300 on it, and I traded in for $33, so I had about $1,700 in equity. I had to pay $241 in sales tax, because if you buy a new car and trade one in, they just subtract and you only pay the difference. temporary tags, $20. I probably could have got that waived because I already had tags, and the title's $15. So my total cash price was $36,987. And with the trade-in, my balance due was $35,353, which you can see there. Hopefully, I don't know if it'll zoom on that, but again, I'll get you pictures of that. Car had 240 miles on it when I got it because I had to go get it. Already had some miles on it. And I put $8,000 down on this. So my payment's right around, I think it's around like $425, $430. I did 63 months at 0.9% financing because Subaru does their 60, or you can do 63 months at that special rate. So I did the 63 months at 0.9%. I probably could have done 72 at 1.9 to get the payment even lower, but I wanted the lower APR for the payment. That way I'm not paying as much on interest. So that's what I paid for it. Again, had about $1,700 in credit with the Outback. If I would have done this a couple months earlier, I would have had more because I previously was getting $35,000 before the 2021 Outbacks came out. But once they came out, my value really dropped down. So that's what I paid. The buying experience was pretty easy. Most Subaru dealerships, at least the King Subaru, is a high volume dealership, so they don't mess around. They don't go back and forth. They give you a price. They say that's as low as they can go then, and their prices do fluctuate. So I actually did, this was about $700 cheaper before COVID happened, and the stock was just gone. Like, there was no WRXs, no STIs out there. So I was a little bit worried because the new redesigned STIs, from what I'm hearing, is going to be a pretty significant price bump, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in the bump up in that. And there's also a rumor that they actually weren't even going to produce the STI in 2021 because of COVID. Everything got pushed back, so I don't think you'll see a new STI till 2022. And this is the last year, the last model of these older designed 2.5 motors with unlinked linked headers that get you that Subaru rumble. So I wanted something that was tried and true, something that had a ton of aftermarket support. While I don't plan on modding this, there's tons of just overall long-term use of these cars, what's good for them, what's not good. So my buying experience, I actually did everything online. I did text my sales guy back and forth. It's the same sales guy I used when we bought our Subaru Ascent, so there wasn't anything different there. I already knew him, already had his number, so we did everything back and forth through text or through email. I never talked to him at all. I already test drove the car, so I didn't have to, or I test drove an STI and a WRX before, so I didn't have to actually go through that process. So we agreed on it. I didn't have to sign anything before they went and got it. They just said, if you want it, we'll go get it for you. They did that, came in. I set up financing, and right now they have these hour increment windows to do financing. So I set that up, I think it was at 11 on a Saturday, and it did take about an hour and a half through financing, mainly because they were a little bit behind. It's a very high volume dealership. They sell a ton of cars there compared to some of the other smaller dealerships. So they are very busy, especially on the weekends, and they really need a dealership upgrade, so it's a smaller lot. So it took about an hour and a half. The sales guy is actually who sold me my Forester, I think about 6 years ago. Or not the sales guy, the finance guy. So I was familiar with him, and I already went going in. I was like, I don't want any of the add-ons. I don't want the rim protection. I don't want the gap protection. I'm putting enough down on this car to where I don't need any of that. I don't need extended warranty. I don't need any of that. So I went right in. When we first sat down, I was like, we've been through this before. I'd like to get out of here as quick as possible because we have a baby at home. With COVID going on, being around people is not a good idea. So he got us in and out pretty quick, about 25 minutes with him, because they did have some computer glitches because everything's done online now versus paper. But overall, I was in and out. My trade-in, they didn't even look at the car. I take pretty good care of my vehicles, so they've got 2 of our vehicles that we've traded in before, so they didn't even look at that. But it was pretty smooth experience, and I've been shopping around for an STI for a while, and this is about what you're going to pay for it, between probably 30, 35.5 and 36 for a base model. that's in the thousands. So 35 to 36,000 is probably about what you're going to pay, depending on what options you get. So there is a base STI that you can get, which is about 36.5. And then once you start getting the options, you go to 38, 39, depending on what type of options you have on there. So that is the conclusion. Again, special financing right now is why we did this. And basically my wife said, if you don't do it now, you're just going to keep shopping around until you drive yourself nuts. So we went ahead and did it. Pretty good experience overall. I probably could have got $700-800 less than what I paid for it, but that's what I got. I didn't have a whole lot of options because there was no cars out there. There still isn't. If you look for an STI, they're still pretty hard to find on a dealership lot. Even WRXs are hard to find, and they're selling really well right now. So that's it. That was my experience. Overall, pretty happy with it. I've had it about, I don't know, I've made 3 payments, but I did make an extra one, so I think I've had it about 2 months. No regrets so far. If I had to drive long distances, 20, 30 miles each day to work one way, this car would be a no-go. If you had to drive 30 miles on the interstate, especially with this, I don't see this being something that I would keep. But I drive 6 miles a day to work, back and forth, and it's all back country roads, so it's actually a fairly fun drive to work every day because it's all very few lights and it's all just fun open country roads, which is another reason why I bought it. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. I will get back to you. This will probably be the last car video for a while. I will get a review of my winter tires and rims set up once it snows. We haven't had any snow yet. It's been pretty mild first week of December. Thanks again. Have a good rest of the weekend. Be safe out there, and I'll see you guys next time.